When I was young, I used to lie awake at night, staring out of the window, looking up to the hills and imagining all the possibilities and opportunities that life might bring me. The hills and the mountains became intertwined with my life, spending days on long bike rides with my dad and building incredible dens with my friends that you could literally walk over and not notice it was there. This connection to nature sparked my love of photography, and since then, I've always heard it. The mountains are calling. I moved to London, joined the police, and experienced every corner of life, from the most sad and tragic to moments of high elation, both showing the very best that people had to offer. But my heart always yearned for the mountains, so eventually I heeded their call and returned, and over the last 6 years have been lucky enough to explore them, photograph them, and share those moments with you. Then 2020 hit. It hit hard and suddenly, and has tested and pushed even the very best of us to the absolute limit. But hopefully, through this, we'll find a new sense of perspective and an understanding of what really matters as we become stronger or simply find a way to cope. But in the hardship, we find that some things will never change, and for me, I can still hear it. The mountains are calling. Hello there, and welcome to a very, very beautiful winter wonderland here in the mountains. An absolutely stunning morning. This is everything I was talking about just then. It feels remote, it feels cold, I'm all alone, and it's just giving me that refreshed sense of perspective as I feel small in the world, but in a way that makes me feel better and more significant perhaps. And the conditions are just utterly fantastic, and I'm very excited about the day to come. So I've got a bit of a plan today because the conditions are going to be challenging. I've got a few things that are not in my favour as well, but I've come here wanting to get 2 shots, although I will be happy with just one because I want to make a print today. I want to make a piece of artwork to just round off this whole story, and I think, well, at the moment I've definitely got the conditions for that. But one of the shots I had planned for the end of the day was sort of behind us there, where I've been to before. I've shot there a couple of times before, and it's a beautiful scene. It's a beautiful composition, but those trees just here, as you can see there, I needed those flecked with snow, that beautiful winter scene, and I just don't have it. So it's possible that that shot is not going to happen. Part of the reason that is the case though is because of the snow base. It's literally come to about 50 metres above the reservoir level here, so I need to get above that, and that thankfully is where my main shot, the shot I really want to have work in the winter. I've shot it at other times of the year, but I want that wintry shot, and that shot is up there. It's so nice here, it's so calm, but the weather could be closing in. I reckon, according to the forecast, I have about 3 hours worth of good weather before potential blizzard conditions come and hit me. So let's get going. It's going to be exciting. Oh, it's just so nice to see some snow as well. Didn't have any significant snow last year, or last winter at least, and this year, right at the start of, well, we're not even in the winter yet officially, we've already got a really nice covering of snow, especially as we get a bit higher. I've got a little bit higher now, and you can see just over here these beautiful waterfalls. The sound is just complementing this scene so well. I don't think there's a photograph there, but they do look good. But as you might be able to see, it's started to snow now, and just behind me there I think it looks absolutely magnificent. The snow could work for me, it could work against me. One thing I'm slightly concerned about is that if it turns to rain, then things could get a bit trickier, because if I get wet, potentially I could get really cold really quickly. But if it stays as snow, I think I'll be alright. I'm well prepared for the snow, so I should be okay, but it's kind of adding to the exciting feel of this adventure. I'm going to persevere, keep on going. Whoa. It's getting deeper as I get higher as well, but it's a lot of fun. So I've arrived now in what is just an utterly stunning amphitheatre. It's snowing pretty heavily now, and when I felt the mountains calling, this is exactly what I thought it had to offer. But all is not as straightforward as you might think, though, in beautiful conditions like this, because it's not actually that straightforward in getting a composition, because what the snow does is simplify your scene. So where tones and textures normally exist, they are removed by the snow, which is essentially just white. So that on its own is not going to make a great image. It looks great to the eye, but it's not going to be straightforward. What I would like is to capture this whole scene. And I might do a panoramic in a little while when I get a bit further around. But what I'm going to focus on at the moment is getting the 70-200 lens on, which I've already done. As you can see, I'm just going to try and not put the lens into the snow. And I'm pointing up at this mountain because I can still see it just at the top there. There's beautiful textures in there. I know I said it removes the texture, but that rock now shows through the bits of snow. You get this lovely contrast of black and white, and it is actually going to be a very much monochrome image, even though I'm going to leave the colour on the photo. I then have this thin layer of mist or cloud underneath that cliff face. So what that's doing is just creating this really interesting framed, textured image that I think is going to be actually quite interesting. It's going to be sort of have a fine art feel to it, but I think it's going to be interesting. So I'm going to try a couple of things. I'm at f8 because I think that's going to get some nice sharpness out of this lens. And I'm first going to do it by upping the ISO to about 400, then bringing the shutter speed right up. I'm now at 1/640th of a second. I'm composed in. I'm just trying to use the shape of the top of the mountain, which is dipping in and out of the snow and the cloud to form the top of the image, and then all that texture in there. But the point of having that fast shutter speed is that I think it's going to hopefully freeze a bit of this snow, so that could look quite interesting. So I'm on a 2-second timer, ISO, what am I on? ISO 400, f8. Let's get focused in, take the shot. Looks good. I can't see the snow on the back of the screen, but if it's there, I will have captured it. Now let's roll the ISO back to 100 and put the shutter speed down to, what, 1/100th of a second. Fire off again. So this time, it's a longer exposure. I don't think any of the snow will be captured. Let's have a look at that. It's so dramatic. That is so dramatic. It's exactly what I want. It's just this, it's almost like the cliff face is poking out the centre of the frame, and it's just got a really ethereal, lovely feel to it. It's really hard going now. This snow is so deep. You know, there's the snow. There's my knee. See the little thing on my crampons there as well. I need to get down to there to then go up there, and I can't see the path at all. I don't know how far to go. I can literally see where I want to be. Probably a quarter of a mile away. It's just whether I'm going to be able to get there. Because it's so hard going. It's a bit dodgy because I can't see the path. Let's keep going. The weather has truly moved in now. Ow! And that hurt. And it's not snowing, it's kind of sleeting and hailing, and the wind has got right up and it's battering my face. The mountains were calling yesterday and earlier this morning, but I think they're now telling me I've outstayed my welcome. So what I want to do is get this shot though, and just look at it. It's just probably going to be one of the moodiest shots I have ever taken. And if I'm shouting, I apologise. There we go. Oh, let's turn back round this way. Come to the camera. Right, I'm composed. Got this little bit of rock here, those two lakes, and then the moody mountains in the distance. I've got that base of that snow as well, which is adding a nice contrast to the image. I've got that water that looks almost black. The snow and the detail of the rocks coming out of it is very monochrome. There's not much colour, but like I say, it's going to be one of the most dramatic images I've ever taken. I am set at f8. I'm focusing just down on the shoreline. 1/100th of a second, ISO 100, and then I need my cloth. I'm focused. I'm in manual focus, so I can just do that. Get the 2-second timer going, and then pull away. And yes, I mean, let me bring that up. That just looks absolutely phenomenal. It's a dark sky, a dark looming sky in the distance. The two lakes, the snow, the black of the rock, the darkness of the water. So much drama in that. And that's exactly what I had in my mind. I will show you that image in a minute, but I've now got to get down off this mountain. Oh, God, the wind is battering me. The image is in the can. I feel good about it. I'm glad I just focused on this one image, because I'd waited too much longer, photograph things coming up. I think the weather would have defeated me today, so I'm gonna pack away. Oh my goodness. I've got to go.